Thanks for making it the Russell Institute. Today we're going to be talking about compound interest. Yes, compound interest. Now it's a basic type of interest, just like simple interest. But the main difference being that simple interest, you get the same amount of interest added on every compounding period, every time period. So if you're getting $500 a year, you're going to get $500 every year for the rest of your life in interest. However, for compound interest, that amount keeps increasing. So you get $500 this year, next year you get $510, and that's the idea of compound interest. Now, whenever we're dealing with interest problems, we're typically dealing with worded problems, which is a source of frustration in my home country of Jamaica and other Caribbean islands. And really and truly, reading comprehension might be an issue. However, when we really look at this thing, we don't have to stress over some of these words because they really are just fluff, right? And we need to get right to the heart of things. Now, I'm going to present the formula in a little bit of a different way than people are used to seeing it. And that's just because I find that if I simplify the order of things, it will minimize the number of mistakes made. So here's what I'm going to write for the formula. The amount, that's A. A is the amount. It's the amount in the account after the interest is added. The amount is equal to, I'm going to start with an open bracket, the rate, divide the rate by 100, multiply that by n being the number of times interest is compounded per year. Now, if it's compounded annually or once per year, n is equal to 1. Now, typically n will be 1, right? Typically n will be 1. However, I need to prepare you for the case where n is not 1. Then I want you to add the number 1. This 1 represents 100%. But if you write 100% is 100 over 100, which simplifies to 1. Then now, you're going to raise it to the power or the exponent of t times n. T is the time in years, and n, of course, once again, is the number of compounding periods per year, which is typically equal to 1. And then finally, I want you to multiply what your final answer by the principal. So, it looks complicated. It is complicated, but watch this. Usually these problems take me about 10 seconds to work, and I'm going to show you why. Alright, so automatically n is 1, right? Because it's annual, right? So unless told otherwise, n will always be equal to 1. And see, when n is equal to 1, we can just ignore it. Basically, we can remove it from the formula. We don't need it. So, the rate is always measured in percent, the time is measured in years, and the principal is always measured in dollars. So when I say that, I only need to look at 3 things in this problem to move forward. I don't really need to read this entire question. It talks about Anishka investing how much money for how long and but I see dollars here, so I know that's my principal. So I'll put that right where P is. I see 8% here, so I know that's the rate. So I put that here. Remember, n is equal to 1. We don't need to write it. And 5 years, n is equal to 1. We don't need to write it. So R is 8, T is 5, and P is 5,000. So let's do this thing. So we're just going to go left to right and knock this out. So I have my calculator here on display to show you. So the rate is 8. We're going to divide it by 100. There we go. I'm not even going to clear my calculator. And then I'm going to put plus 1. That's adding 100%. So now I have 1.08. Now I'm going to raise it to the power or the exponent of 5. So some of you will be familiar with this symbol here. 5 equals and I'm going to get a long decimal. And right there, I'm going to multiply by 8,000, and that would be my answer. My answer is $11,755. That is my new amount, $11,755. So if I want to know how much interest I made, if I want to know how much interest I made, all I need to do is subtract the principal. And there you go. So the actual interest is $3,755. $3,755 is the interest, but the new amount is $11,755. It is as simple as that. Let's work another question and see how easy this can become. Alright, so Deontay borrows $15,000 from a loan that charges compound interest. If the rate offered was 7%, how much would he have to pay back after 3 years? So I'm seeing a lot of words and a lot of information, and all I really need to know is that is the principal because it's measured in dollars. That is the rate because it's measured in percent. That is the time because it's measured in 3 years. So how do I work this out? Well, the new amount is equal to the rate divided by 100 times n plus 100% to the power of t times n, and then when I'm done, I multiply by p. So what's the rate? The rate is 7. I'm going to divide it by 100. Then I'm going to add 1. Then I'm going to raise it to the power of t, which is 3. And then I'm going to multiply by 15,000. So some people are asking me, wait, what happened to n? Remember, n is equal to 1 unless told otherwise. N is going to always be equal to 1. Alright, so let's go. Let's do this. We're going to say 7. We're going to say 7 divided by 100. That's 0.07. Then we're going to add 1 to that. That's 1.07. Then we're going to raise 1.07 to the exponent of 3. And when we're done with that, we're going to multiply it by 15,000. There's a new amount. Our new amount is $18,376. There we go. And what if I wanted to know the interest? Remember, for the interest, we just subtract the original amount. And the original amount was $15,000. So if I subtract $15,000, the interest is equal to $3,376. Now tell me, was that long? Now, this may seem complicated, but let's try to put this in perspective. Find the rate, divide it by 100, add 1, put it to the power of t, and then finally multiply by p. Try it out yourself and see what happens. Thanks for making it the Russell Institute. Don't forget to subscribe, tell your friends about the video. Maybe you'll have a chance to win Digicel or Lime credit.